Hey, this is Guy, and today we are going to be talking about Joe Burrow's elite play and how he's been playing as a top 2 quarterback and arguably having an MVP season. But the Bengals are letting him down, and they are currently sitting at a 2-4 record heading into Week 7 against the Cleveland Browns, which we will talk about in this video. We are also going to talk about is a run on the horizon for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their schedule is very favorable, and a look around the AFC North if the Bengals can really have a chance at winning it, even though they had a slow start. So that being said, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, this shit's guy. Hey, this is the guy, and like I said, today we're going to talk about how Joe Burrow has been playing absolutely out of his mind from weeks around 2 to 5 and 6. You know, Joe Burrow has been putting up numbers, MVP type numbers. He has been, as of the 16th, Joe Burrow is top 2 in passing touchdowns. He currently has a 110.3 passer rating and also has 1,578 passing yards. Those are MVP numbers, and you know this is considering we're only in Week 7 now. The defense, however, has been letting him down of his MVP type play, and that bothers the question: is the Bengals front office disappointing Joe Burrow? They're not giving him enough to succeed as a whole team. Now, with the questions that do dive into that is obviously free agency, letting key players like DJ Reader leave, Tyler Boyd, which obviously was bound to happen, but like DJ Reader, Tyler Boyd, Chidobe Awuzie, and eventually it's going to be T. Higgins after the season. That's my guess. Are the Bengals setting Joe Burrow up for failure? Evidently, no, because it is Joe Burrow. He has that instinct where no matter what team he's on, he could be on the worst team in the league or the best. He has that instinct where our team is a championship team because you have me. And that's a great mindset to have. But the Bengals, they need to go and get key players that the team is needing in the offseason. But the issue is the Bengals are obviously being known for cheap and spending as little money as possible. That's an issue when it comes to Joe Burrow, and because he's coming off of a season-ending injury. Mind you, this is all coming off a season-ending injury. All the numbers that I just mentioned, and he's top 2 in almost every category as a quarterback. It's really stressful just because he's putting up numbers. They're putting up 38 points against the Ravens, but you're still losing because of that defense. You're putting up 33 points against the Commanders, but you're still losing because of the defense. Now, that does lead to Joe Burrow's stats per game. Joe Burrow had 5 passing touchdowns in the game against the Ravens, 393 passing yards. That is just about 400 yards, and you still lose the game. It is very frustrating. He was making plays. Him and Jamar Chase were. He had 5 touchdowns, 2 of them to Jamar Chase, 2 of them to T. Higgins, and 1 to Chase Brown. The Bengals need to get figured out on defense. Now, they did get it figured out on defense Week 6 on Sunday Night Football against the Giants. It was a very ugly game, but as Jamar Chase says, a win is a win. It was a 17-7 win for the Cincinnati Bengals where Joe Burrow had a 50-yard rushing touchdown. The Giants defense played to one side of the ball. On the left side, Joe Burrow took advantage of it. This was a 3rd and 18 play where he just got sacked on the previous play. He took it to the house, dove for the pylon, and was in for the touchdown. It was definitely something that got me hyped up for sure because you never see Joe Burrow really take off that often. 50-yard touchdown run is insane for Joe. Now, like I said, let's go over his game-by-game stats. Week 2, he had 258 passing yards and 2 touchdowns where we lost to the Chiefs. Week 3, he had 324 yards and 3 touchdowns where we lost to Commanders. Week 4, he had 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. Week 5, like I've mentioned, this is very frustrating. He had 5 touchdowns, 392 yards, and we lost the game. The defense let up 41 points, which against Lamar Jackson, I know they are a great team. They are going to succeed, which we will talk about later. But 41 points is ridiculous. And it's a situation where the Bengals, they have learned to bounce back from all the adversity that they are facing, but it is becoming an issue where you are wasting Joe Burrow's prime years. And the crazy thing is he's coming off a hand injury where nobody thought he was going to be the same after week 1. And now he's putting up MVP-type numbers, but the defense is just bad. And it shows statistically everywhere. Every statistic you look at, the Bengals are on the bottom of the statistics, which is where you don't want to be. And it's definitely frustrating. But with the Week 7 matchup against the Browns this weekend, can win the division if they beat the Ravens this next match and they win the rest of their games going into Baltimore. This schedule is very favorable. I do expect the Bengals season to be turned around just like that. And it's crazy to say because 1 second ago they were just 1-4. And if they win out, they'll be 5-4 by the time they get to Baltimore. If they win that game, they're 6-4. They're sitting at a 6-4 record. Mind you, the past 2 times the Bengals went to the AFC Championship, heading into Week 10, they were 5-4 anyways. So the Bengals definitely can get this season turned around if the defense just does their job. And I know I have expressed this many times on the channel that the Bengals defense is not stepping up and doing what they need to do, and it is costing the game. It is costing Joe Burrow a MVP type season. But if the Bengals defense does the job and the Bengals offense does what they did weeks 2 through 5, then I do expect this team to be absolutely unstoppable. Nobody's going to want to see this team. And it's a fact at this point. The numbers Joe Burrow's been putting up, the numbers Jamar Chase has been putting up after not even really playing week 1. T. Higgins has been phenomenal coming back from his injury after not playing the first 2 weeks. And Chase Brown just playing good. He's more of an RB1 than Zach Moss is. Chase Brown, all these guys on offense are doing their job. And the offensive line is also contributing, even though they let Joe get hit a lot on Sunday Night Football against the Giants. But the offensive line is contributing. This is arguably the best offense Joe Burrow has had in his whole career. And it's all being let down by the defense. Can this defense get it turned around? As mentioned, they did in Week 6. Now, as mentioned in the beginning, we are going to take a quick look around the AFC North. The Bengals sitting at 3rd place, where it is currently Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and Browns, where the Bengals and Browns will play this weekend. If the Bengals win out by Week 10, they beat Baltimore, they do have a shot at the division. And because you look at the rest of the teams in the division, Amari Cooper was just traded from the Browns to the Bills. Deshaun Watson is not living up to his hype as everybody expected a couple years ago. And the Ravens are the Ravens. They're going to be contending either way. I do expect them to have a few bad games because it is the Ravens. They always have a few bad games. Maybe they've got them out the way already. But if the Bengals want any shot at the division, they have to win out this crucial stretch. They have to beat the Browns, beat the Eagles, beat the Raiders, and then beat the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, where the whole world is going to be able to see you. Make a statement, say, hey, we're back from the grave. And that ponders the question, can the Bengals even go to the playoffs without winning the AFC North? And yes, teams that have expected to live up to the hype really haven't, like the Bengals, but the Jets haven't done what they did, done what they needed to be, done what they expected to be. And, maybe trading for Devontae Adams changes things for the Jets, but the Jets are a team that everybody expected to be good and are sitting at 2-4 just like the Bengals. The Bills are kind of sort of inconsistent, so there always is a playoff spot right there on the horizon. Expect a few shocker playoff teams to be in the mix, maybe the Broncos, but the Bengals, I believe, can and probably will make the playoffs if the defense can step up, if Joe Burrow continues to play out of his mind along with the rest of the offense. So, yeah, that's basically the top of this video. I hope you enjoyed, but Joe Burrow, arguably the best quarterback in the league, statistically as of right now. Lou and everyone needs to do their job, and I cannot frustrate about this enough. The defense, please, the defense step up against this team that has been struggling offensively in the Browns, against this team that has been struggling offensively as the Eagles, against a team that just traded Devontae Adams against the Raiders. You literally have a path set out for you to succeed. You just got to go out there and do it. And if you don't go out there and do it, then the season is over. The Bengals must step up and get their game going if they even want to make a shot at the playoffs. And by Week 10, they must at least be at a minimum 4-5 or 5-4, just for a shot at the playoffs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And this is your Cincy Guy.